We're here today out of Southern Miss, where he was a two-time academic All-American, recently finished second at his first stage PGA Tour Q School site. From Chattanooga, Tennessee, Mr. Paul Apyan. Paul, you've played the first 9, you've played the second 9. Are you ready to play the third 9?
We shall see in a couple minutes. Think so.
All right, Paul, how did you get started in the game of golf?
I grew up on a golf course that hosted the PGA Tour, and when I was 2 years old, I went and traded 3 pacifiers for my first golf club. And I remember sticking my head over the counter and laying them down on the counter, and he walked back and brought out a club, and that's how I got started.
Who has been your biggest influence in your golfing career?
That's a hard one. I'd probably say my first instructor, because he taught me all the fundamentals, and he recently passed away, so obviously he's definitely someone I've been thinking about a lot. So Jack McKenna is who it'd be.
When did you first realize you were good enough to play golf professionally?
I'm kind of starting to think that it's been a long, or not really long, I guess it's been fairly short, but it's really just a process, and we're still trying to figure that out exactly.
All right, your 3 choices are Chad Campbell, Zach Johnson, and Keegan Bradley. Which one would you take a lesson from? Which one would you pay to watch? And which one would you like to compete against?
I would like to compete against Keegan, take a lesson from Zach, and watch Chad Campbell.
Now, same question, but your choices are last year's NGA Player of the Year, Jeff Core, last year's NGA Pro Series money leader, Brandon Brown, and NGA stalwart, Todd Bailey.
I would probably go with Jeff Core with his putting. I'd like to sit down and talk with him about how to putt like that and his touch, learn about short game from him. Compete against Todd, and I'd probably watch Brandon.
If you weren't a professional golfer, what would you be?
A financial planner or a golf. I'd like to be an instructor.
Who would you say is your greatest all-time golfer?
There's no question about that. I think it's old Tom Morris. If you look at the history and the facts back in the 1800s, his domination wasn't even recorded because of the technology that wasn't available at the time. You know, if he was around now, I don't think Tiger Jack would really be able to hold a candle to him.
How do you feel the NGA has prepared you for life on the nationwide and PGA tours?
It teaches you how to plan, it teaches you how to travel, it teaches you when you need to do all your practicing. You know, it's not just going out and playing 72 holes. You got to understand, when am I going to practice while I'm traveling? When am I going to do my laundry? Where am I going to eat next week? How do I need to set up my hotels for the next 3 or 4 weeks? How do I do housing and everything else like that? Playing golf is actually the easiest part. It's learning how to travel and everything else. It's probably the most important thing you learn out here.
And lastly, what advice would you give the players who are just getting started in their professional careers?
Make sure whenever you look at what tour you're going to play, check out where the players who are at the highest level, where they've played and where they've come from 95% of the time they've come through here.
All right, Paul, you've just completed the third 9. We want to thank you for your time and wish you well this week. Good luck.
Appreciate it.